There are so many uses of Botox that you may not know about. Now, everybody knows about injections of Botox into the glabella, the wrinkles here, the forehead, the crow's feet, but did you know that there are so many of these other options for you? Some of them are good, some of them are bad. I'm going to go through it with you on this video today. So the first area are the armpits. Botox injections to the armpits are actually really good treatments if you have hyperhidrosis. Hyperhidrosis is excess sweating, once again, typically from the armpits, but you can actually get that in your hands, in your feet, and other parts of your body. The great thing about Botox is that if you inject Botox into those areas, it can actually reduce the sweating, and that result can last 4 to 6 months. Now, in my practice, we're not doing a whole lot of that anymore. We did, maybe 10, 15 years ago. Now we're using Miraidry as an option because that uses microwave energy to basically destroy sweat glands. But if you don't have access to Miraidry, then Botox is a great alternative. So armpits, give thumbs up, that's a real option. Well, what about Barbie neck? So the movie Barbie is so popular, and there are so many doctors now who are advertising Botox injections into the trapezius muscles, the muscles right here at the base of your neck, the top of your back, as a way to cause you to have more of a neck like Barbie, if you actually want that type of neck, first of all. So the idea behind those injections is that when you inject Botox into muscle, it weakens muscle, and if that muscle is weakened, it can eventually atrophy or get thinner, get smaller. So some doctors are advertising injections of Botox into these muscles as a way to reduce the size of them and to make your neck look longer. Now, it is as kind of silly as it sounds. It does work, but it's not something that I recommend. Those are big muscles. You do need to spend quite a bit of money on those Botox injections to get that result. And I mean, is it really worth it? I mean, geez, I'd say just spend your money on something more worthwhile, ideally. So that, I would say, is a sus, not a real option for Botox. How about the lip flip? The Botox lip flip is a super popular treatment in Hollywood. You put just a couple of units of Botox into the upper lip, usually right along Cupid's bow, which is this part of the lip. And what it does is it causes that part of the lip to evert and the upper lip to look slightly fuller. This is something that we're doing in my office all the time. It does work very well, and even better, it's not expensive at all. Because literally you're putting maybe 1 unit here and here, so a total of like 2 units total. Not that expensive, but it definitely works. The negative about the Botox lip flip is in some people it only lasts a couple of months at the longest. And so longevity is not great with it, but it is a super easy treatment and much, much easier than getting filler injected into your lips, which can be very, very painful. So the Botox lip flip is a real option. I give that my thumbs up. Well, how about the Botox breast lift? Yeah, I'm reading about this, and there are some doctors who are advertising injections of Botox into the chest muscle as a way to make the breasts look lifted. So how does that work? Well, they claim that if you inject Botox into the pectoralis minor muscles, and this is a smaller muscle underneath the larger pectoralis muscle of the chest, that by causing that muscle to weaken, to become paralyzed, it causes the back muscles to cause you to stand up straighter. And the idea is that if you're standing up straighter, it causes your breasts to look a bit lifted. Yes, that is as sus as it sounds. Not something that I recommend. That muscle actually is right above the actual ribs, and what's below the ribs are your lungs. And so if you've got somebody who doesn't really know what they're doing and they're sticking a long needle into your chest to try to inject it into that pectoralis minor muscle, it's a very thin muscle. You could develop an actual punctured lung from that. So the Botox breast lift, my opinion, is totally sus. I do not recommend anybody does it. Okay, next on my list is RBF. RBF stands for resting bitch face. And honestly, I have one. Look at this. Yeah, don't I look like, I look bitchy. And so what that is basically is a downturned corner of the mouth that some people get just as they get older. For me, it's hereditary. My dad has it, my grandpa had it, now I'm getting it, and God, I hope my kids don't get it. But really what you can do with Botox is there is a muscle called the depressor anguli oris, and this is a muscle on the corner of the mouth that pulls the corners of the mouth down. If you inject Botox into that muscle here and here, it can weaken that muscle and cause the corner of the mouth to actually lift up. The results do last about 4 months or so, and it definitely works in some people. Now, if you've got a really bad BRF, if that corner of the mouth is really deep, really going down, you've got a deep crease here, a marionette line, not going to do as much. You want to combine that with filler. But if you are on the younger side, you got a little bit of that RBF, and you want to try to turn that frown upside down with a little bit of Botox. Great thing is you just need a couple of units on each side, so it's not going to be super expensive, and you can get a really nice result. So now you may be wondering, Dr. Youn, why don't you do it first? And the answer is, I will. This is something I'm probably going to do here over the next couple of weeks, and we will tape it and put it on social media so you can see it. So Botox to the depressor anguli oris muscles, or the corners of the mouth, to cause a reversal of the RBF is real. I give that also a thumbs up. Okay, how about Botox to narrow your jawline? Well, there is a muscle called the masseter muscle, and this is a muscle on the sides of the jaw that when it gets overgrown can cause your jaw to look wide. Some people like that. There are actually people on social media who are doing jaw exercises to widen the jaw, and I guess maybe some people feel it makes them look more masculine. But not everybody likes it, and out in South Korea, this is where these injections started. If you inject Botox into that masseter muscle, you can cause that muscle to atrophy, and you can actually get thinning of the jawline, the width of the jaw, and some people really like that. The other thing is if you, let's say, clench your teeth a lot at night, if you grind your teeth at night, if you chew a lot of gum, that can cause that muscle to get thicker and thicker. Obviously, the first thing you want to do is stop chewing gum. It's hard not to grind your teeth at night because you're asleep, you don't know you're doing it. Then injections of Botox to that muscle may help that situation a bit. So Botox injections into the masseter muscle, I've been doing it for almost 20 years. I think it definitely works. And the negative with that treatment is you need quite a few units. For me in my practice, we usually start at about 20 to 25 units on each side. It's not uncommon to do 30 units in some people with really thick muscle. The idea is that as that muscle atrophies or gets thinner, then you can hopefully use less and less each time. So Botox to narrow the jawline, to help with grinding of your teeth and that type of stuff at night, thumbs up, that is real. Okay, so I've got one final treatment of Botox, and if you saw the thumbnail in this video, you know we're talking about Scrotox. So there are some doctors who are advertising Botox injections into the scrotum to cause the scrotum to be less wrinkled and for it, I guess, to hang a bit lower. Now, it doesn't make any sense to me because I don't think anybody's really looking at scroti, I think they call it scrotums, scroti, as being beautiful parts of bodies. But hey, if you're looking for that, Botox can do that. My main issue with this, okay, is as a guy, if you are sitting on a toilet and it's hanging lower, and let's say the water level of the toilet is on the higher side, that could be pretty hazardous. So I don't do Scrotox. I don't necessarily recommend Scrotox. I think it could be hazardous in certain toilet situations, so that I would say is sus. So I have given a lot of different other videos here on ways to look younger and feel better. Take a peek at them right up here. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Eat real food, use clean skincare, and always remember to auto-rejuvenate before you operate.